to you. Thank y'all for having the work you do.
Hey, thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
All right. We are back on the Real News Radio, and I want to give out the call-in number if you'd like to call in. 1-866-986-6397. Let me give out that again. 1-866-986-6397. And each week on Friday nights, we're going to have Free-for-All Fridays where people can call in, speak their mind, and we're going to have a special feature called the Weekly Patriot, and that is why I wanted Brad to give me a call. This week, we are going to be joined by JP. He is a Weekly Patriot here in the Iredell County area. We're going to have 10 minutes of airtime. We're going to ask them a few questions, let them discuss what's on their mind. That is something we're going to have each Friday. I hope that if you'd like to be a Weekly Patriot, email us on air at the realnewsradio.com. We'd like to set a few up in advance, see kind of what you've got on your mind. And while we go to the phones, I would like to discuss a little bit about what Brad had to say, which I think he made some great points. It's one thing to talk about the problems, it's something else to discuss solutions. And some of my solutions is right along with his. Term limits, you can say, well, we have term limits. It's called the elections. You get a congressman or senator in there for years. They make so many different connections. They're taking all this money from the corporations. You get someone, an upstart that would do a great job. They can't raise enough money to fight the battle to get elected. So I would love to see term limits in the Congress and Senate and return these people back home, put fresh in that maybe would submit to the will of their constituents, because that, bottom line, is the problem, but I thought he made some great points, and it's 100% the truth, 100% the truth. Anything you'd like to add to that, Brian?
Absolutely. I mean, Strom Thurmond and, Kennedy, 50-plus years in the Senate. I mean, that's ridiculous. How many connections did they make in that time?
And they get rich. They get rich while they're there. And then they get that pay for the rest of their lives. Just like this health care that they're so trying to ram down the people's throat. And Democrats have enough votes to pass it. They don't need the Republicans. But if it's such great health care, why don't they make it their health care? If they pass the health care for the American people, why don't that be the health care for the Congress and the Senate and the President if it's so good?
I believe Obama had skated that question when he was asked, wasn't he, here recently, if he would be on this system, and he just kind of skipped right over it.
Yeah, there's been several out there that has asked that same question. I'm going to give out the phone number again if you'd like to call in. It is 1-866-986-6397, and this is something we'd discussed briefly before, and it was back up in the news this past week, and that is the Ammunition Accountability Act, AAA. It sounds very noble, but it has been proposed in 18 states and with some minor differences among them, but here is basically what it is. Each box of ammo you buy will have a unique number. Each round in that box will have a laser etched number on the box of the bullet and on the inside of the cartridge case that corresponds to the number on the box. Each time you buy ammo, you will have to show ID with your name, date of birth, driver's license, etc., to be recorded so that the box will be tied to you. There will be a 5-cent tax on each and every round in the box. This tax will be to support the database. You will have to maintain records if you give or sell ammo to relatives or friends, and the above tax would be levied on each round again to maintain the database. And this is being reported by Blackwood's Home Magazine. Anywhere from 4 months to 3 years after such bills are enacted, depending on the state, it will be illegal to own any uncoded ammo. So what we are reporting here is, again, another end run at the Second Amendment. If they can't get your guns, well, let's get the ammo. There will be a civil and criminal penalties if you possess with any fines of anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 for each instance of violation. This will mean $1,000 to $5,000 per round. While we're continuing with that, we do have a couple of phone calls, so we're going to go ahead and go to the phones with Bill.
Hello?
Hello,
Hey, what's on your mind? Hey, what's on your mind today? Yes.
Farron, I would like to make a suggestion that on this swine flu vaccination, why don't Mr. Obama, Biden, Reid, Timmy, why don't they all set the example and go on public television where they are taking the swine flu vaccine, but not let it be administered by their doctors, but let it be administered by the medical association and verified that they're taking the swine flu vaccination. I say let our leadership give us the example publicly. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'd like to see it before, but I'll guarantee you they wouldn't want to have any of that. You know, I've always found it amazing all the way through my whole life. You've never seen the president sick. They don't have colds. They're never out with the flu. What kind of health care do they get that the rest of us don't get? But, yeah, I think you make a good point. Anything else you'd like to add today?
Well, let me mention this. On the TV this week, they showed the picture of that man who was the mastermind of the 9/11 catastrophe in New York, and I believe it was staged. But at any rate, Obama has taken over the CIA's privilege of investigating these terrorists and, interrogating them. He's took it over and put it in the Justice Department, but they said on the news that it would be controlled by the White House itself. And, that being the case, that's just another area where Obama has took it over. And the newscaster, I don't know which one it was, but he said that eventually they thought this man was going to be released that killed 3,500 people, that he would be released because they waterboarded him and he had been tortured enough. What do you think about that?
Well, I do agree with what you said with 9/11 was staged, but whatever we see from the White House as far as with regards to terrorists and what they do with them, it's all exactly what they have planned. But I do know what you're talking about. They had moved that from the CIA and have put it under the White House control because of all of the atrocities that were committed during the different interrogations and the torture. Well, I appreciate you calling. Is there anything else you'd like to add today?
The only thing I'd say is that if pouring a bucket of water over a terrorist's head would get information that would save the life of one American soldier in 2 wars that we don't deserve, that I'd like to furnish the water.
All right. We appreciate you calling in today.
Thank you, and see you later.
If you'd like to call in before we go off the air, 1-866-986-6397, 1-866-986-6397. We hadn't had anyone call in and discuss the Thomas Paine that we played. I thought that'd get them motivated. Again, we're going to be having a protest downtown Statesville, September 12th, 12 noon to 2 p.m. For information, go to our website, email us, onair@realnewsradio.com. Again, starting next week, we're going to be doing our series, Constitution, A Search for the Truth. If you'd like a copy of the War Powers Act, send us an email, and we will send you the documentary film for free. Brian, we were talking about the Ammunition Accountability Act, and you know what we had discussed here. It's an end run at the Second Amendment. 18 states are considering it. There's minor differences in each state. Your thoughts on it?
Is North Carolina on there?
You know, I don't believe, and I've got a list of the states here, but it's a partial. I didn't count 18. It only had 7, and much to my dismay, I don't see North Carolina on it. I mean, I know anytime there's any bootlicking of the New World Order they can do, or anything that they can take our rights, take our guns, any of our freedoms, or raise our taxes, just like our sales tax is going up 1% September 1st here in North Carolina in the midst of a depression. They're usually gung-ho and right at the forefront of the line, but I'm sure they're probably just biting at the bit to enact this themselves, but not that I know of, much to my surprise.
But again, I mean, just